Can I share my screen? I want to share my works.
Yeah, I can. From our last kind of discussion, I think yesterday, right, on your design, right? Have you actually do a little bit kind of improvement from there?
Yeah, I actually find do more research and come to the design, but I think my drawing is not so good.
Because the tactics, basically, you have to focus more on the techniques, how actually they to use to draw the basic structures that first, right? So those kind of techniques were really important because we are not applying that kind of technique into only one particular kind of uh, what we call that a task there, okay? Because the methods that I show you guys how to control the pressures to develop the drawing strokes were basically important for to draw any kind of what we call that design kind of what we call the sketches there to develop your ideas for any kind of sort of design kind of methods that works because a lot of people always doesn't know how to use that kind of skills to develop. For example, if we discuss a logo or anything, let's just see if we draw some logos there. Okay, I can share my screen here. Okay, let's just say that you want to design a logo. Okay, you have a few kind of subject matters about logos, right? Okay, first of all, using the basic shape, right? So the logo came from circles, and then you want to design also maybe a shape of human there, okay? For example, like this. Okay, if you take a look at how actually I design uh, these sketches, there, right? It came from the same. This is basically our text for the logos there, okay? So when I actually develop the sketches here, okay, or I want to draw a logo that is from a bird there, for example, okay, a bird there. So if you take a look at how actually I move my hands before I'm going to refine them using AI illustrators, right, or whatever medium or tools that we can use later on, okay? The way they actually we're going to develop the structures, right, before we're going to end up to work with any kind of visual shape, right? For example, like the shapes there. The understanding how to develop the structures and shapes, to visualize them using a very simple kind of methods like this. Look a little bit kind of simple, but it will give a lot of impact when it comes to for you to discuss your ideas with your clients later on. Because client normally when you discuss with your clients, you won't be able to have a lot of time, right, to show you guys to show your finished products, right? Even though you want to draw, for example, like as simple as a flower kind of shapes there, right? Okay? For your practice, right? So a sunflower kind of practice. If you can actually develop this kind of effective kind of ideas there, okay, for your clients like you, for example, right? It will show more kind of value for your discussions, right? Other than you draw something like this. Right? A lot of people, I saw a lot of students, right? When they actually start to sketch your ideas, you start to sketch like this one. It will show, right, from your drawings, it will show that you don't actually understand what you do there. Right? You know actually what you want to do, but you don't understand how to execute them in the right way. Because you spend a lot of times allowing you to what we call that uh, throw or develop the ideas writing in a very limited kind of way. Why? Because you spend more times focusing on to move every single line without having whatever you might to let it flow there, right? To let it flow there, right? To make your sketches more quicker and also more effective when you want to present your work there. Look like scribbling, look like scribbling, but is the methods and techniques that all designers do when you come to draw. Right, these drawings are a combination between the continuous line drawings and also uh, contour line drawings. Right? Contour line drawings, all the shape that you have in mind will develop right here, right? To show people what basically that you want to visualize them, and by the same time, you take care all the proportions, okay, during the process of learning them. Right? If you take a look at how actually I move my hands here right now, they're right. It looks like I'm just putting them, but it's basically I try to visualize my ideas here. So all this kind of connection coordinations you have to develop from now on. That's why I really forbidden and also want you guys to avoid to draw like this. Okay? Because even though it looks quite not appropriate for you guys to digest at the moment for some of you guys. But if you go on and and develop all this kind of routine, along the way, you will find the answer, you will find the flows that, yes, this kind of drawings will give you guys more time to think, but your hands coordinate with your mind already to give visualize whatever it takes. But from these sketches, normally we don't focus on the perfections. When you want to draw this one already, most people who cannot draw well, or maybe they have a little bit kind of difficulty to draw in the right way, but when they draw like this, they actually try to focus very hard, right, to make sure that whatever that they have visualized right here will came out in the same way that they can imagine. But the problem is nobody can when you draw like this, unless you have, for example, if I want to draw like that by using the doodle kind of line, right, you have controlling your mind, you have focus, you have very fully focused, right, on the movements that you want to create for your design here without sketching. Okay, this is the type of drawing that we call, that you guys maybe know about doodle drawings, doodle line. Okay? So whatever that I create right now, okay, it is called doodle drawing. So I actually plan to draw like this. Okay, all these kind of drawings normally when we're doing what we call that, using a drawing pen, for example, right? It will not allow you to erase them. Because if you're doing it using marker or drawing pen, right, it's impossible for you to erase the right. So when I actually practice or develop this kind of drawings, especially for the doodle kind of purpose, right, even though I want to draw the D directly, I try to D practice like this. I have in mind like what kind of shape that I want to draw, so I let it flow. I just let it flow there. And the lines is just like a coloring book kind of lines, right? Everything sharp, everything bold, and everything has been adjusted, I think. And you actually have planned. I have planned to use this kind of drawing style to present as part of my illustration course. So if you want to compare these drawings and this one, there's a lot of difference there in terms of finishing, in terms of planning, in terms of proportions. So these kind of drawings can be accepted if you have the access kind of skills or the right kind of skill to develop this type of video kind of illustrations design. Okay, so I think those are the introduction for our meeting today. Right, let's say what I mean right now. There's two types of drawings that you can actually improve if you want to develop your techniques. Sketch line drawings based on the basic structures. I don't say that the doodle kind of drawings you cannot use those kind of basic structures that works, but normally as a doodle artist, sometimes they actually have everything in mind. Whatever element that they want to draw, they already know. But all these things came with practice. So that means if you really love to develop your drawing skills, your illustration skills, practice a lot of drawing, enjoy, create your own projects. Okay? What kind of elements, characters, very simple characters that you want to draw into the line, you just practice them, keep in your sketchbooks, be a part of your visual diary kind of activity. You will find this kind of techniques will be beneficial for you in the future. In the future, I promise you that. Okay? Okay. What is it that you want to ask me?
I actually want to ask my drawing, is it okay or not? But then just now I see the sketch that you draw, I think my one is like not properly. Or can I just
Yeah,
can
can
I
you share your screen?
uh
Can you share your screen?
I think you need to stop sharing so that I can share it. Is it?
Music.
Uh,
Okay, I've stopped
oh
presenting
yes,
mine.
I can. Sorry.
You can.
Can.
We can do both of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sharing right. This one.
This is the first one. Or the second one after we have discussed the new
Yeah.
characters, right?
For the sketches like this can.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
I think you start to improve from there. Right? All right. For your etching and your shadings for your plane of line, okay, you can try to avoid drawing a lot of etching line like this. Okay? If you can leave a very simple kind of clean up line there, okay, it's more
You
better
means the head
at the moment.
here,
Yeah, the areas of the head and also the
the
areas of
body.
the what we call that, the bottom there, I think.
Okay.
So you can actually refine them, I think. If you can use a very simple clean kind of line, just like your reference here, it's more better. And of course,
Okay.
if you take a look at the alignment between eyes, both eyes from three-quarter view, I think a little bit further, like, okay? It has to be moved a little bit because why? See from here, the front view there, right? Front view
Front view.
and three-quarter view is too close.
Oh,
Front view and three-quarter view is too close there, right?
the eyes
From
is
there to,
like further, right?
yeah, it has to be a little bit further, like a distance a bit.
Okay.
Wait, alright. So basically, I actually have,
Where is
uh,
it?
it's okay, just continue then first. I just
Okay.
print the screen, okay, print the screen
Oh, you
from
want to print the
your,
screen. Okay.
yeah, from your screen. Okay, how is it? The next one?
Then this one. This one I
This one
tried
is more
to
better
like.
lah.
I tried
Like the
to like use
Powerpuff Girls
the.
and characters lah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Then
think
become.
I think your sketches become more better there. I think you can see some improvement from there, from the first one that you did until now. I think they have
Okay.
a very what we call that more fluent, more spontaneous, okay, more free form kind of stroke. Okay? And the clean up line also getting better.
This one the hatching is okay, right? Better than the
Yes,
previous one. Okay.
yes.
Then next one.
Okay, all right. Mm. How about the shapes of the head, the gear there, right? Okay? Did you change a lot?
You
Used
means
to
the
experiment with, yeah, the head gear there, right?
yeah
The hat or the hair
yeah
kind of shapes for the character.
I changed a bit lah. Like the previous one is like a
Mm.
circus, and then this one because I designed this character is like he's always get angry, so he had I draw like here straight a bit lah.
Okay.
This one okay,
Right.
and then this one the hair also I changed a bit lah.
Okay, the glasses also you can actually improve it now. I think the shapes of the legs is too close there. But it's a good try, already. Hopefully, it's a good try there from your perspective and design. It's a good try. But
Okay.
if you can actually use, like, if you take a look at your sample set, okay, they
Mhm.
design different kind of form of the character based on the same characters, right? They
Yeah.
try to apply a human form kind of characters, for example, if you experiment there, right?
I
Because one
got
of the you gotta
I got draw a human like characters the last one. This one
mm,
is I wanna draw like a grandpa like that.
okay,
Yeah,
mm,
and then
okay,
this like this,
mm, okay, yeah, you try the
and then this one I try to make it like a princess.
okay. Maybe you have to the princess design. You can actually improve it more on the dress, right? To make it like the dress were made by the shapes of
Uh,
the fruits itself, the right? Okay? Other than
oh,
you just design the dress look like a purely like a human dress, but you can actually use the form of the human dress, for example, like the gown, etc. But they've been made by the shape of the what we call that the fillet there, right? Okay, the of the fruits there. They
means
become
make it like
more,
more like the mangosteen like that lah.
yeah, yeah, the
Oh,
mango
okay, I will
shapes
change
there,
it.
right? Okay? More pastel, right?
But the line
But
is
you can
okay,
actually,
right?
yeah, the
Okay.
basic structure line. I think you have done your own studies there. Okay? You have done your own studies, experiment a bit, I think. So make sure
Yeah.
when you design any characters later on, okay, before you clean up them, okay, spend more time develop this kind of sketches there, right? Because from the sketches, generally we actually try to develop the foundations of our understanding on our creations. A lot of people they don't understand from their own creation. Even though they create their own design, but they still doesn't understand about their own design there. That's why uh, a lot of challenges, obstacles, and sometimes people get a little bit kind of loose of their what we call that confidence with their own design, and they start to fail. Right, because why? Because they don't know how to get out from those problems there. Because design kind of analogy that you have to remember that we actually create our own problems and then we have to solve them. Right,
Yeah.
these problems together. Okay? Because if they go back again on the methods of working with design, okay, no one actually asks us to draw this character, right? For example, right? Or someone will ask us to draw some of the characters like we as a assignments, but when we get the assignments, we choose the character that we want to draw. That's when basically we create our own problems. Right.
Yeah.
So I just give you guys some guidance there and some information and also some directions there how to work. But the problem basically we actually try to break them. We try to create back again our problems. Then we actually have to learn back again how to solve them back. All right, all these kind of problems there. Right. So the difference is we have the team there. me as a part of the teams for the big kind of group that right here. So whatever that we actually have been working on, you guys have been working on, is a part of the process that we can actually solve all this kind of thing together. Okay, so those are
Okay.
the way the process of the working is. Anything else you want to show other
I'll
than that?
stop sharing.
Okay. How about you, Sinwan? Do you have other things that you want to share? Okay. You design your own self, right, as a character?
Uh, I want to ask, I draw like
Yes.
this can or not? Like this.
Why the characters is looks different than the first one that you designed for for your works there?
Huh?
Why the characters suddenly change? Why the characters suddenly changed there? I remember that you actually draw the characters later. I think.
No, I chose another subject.
Why? Why you changed to another
Because
subject?
I think I have more idea in this subject, so I chose this subject.
All right, the way that you construct the line is not right there. The techniques that you draw for the foundation of these characters, it doesn't look right. There's a lot of confusion, I think, there. Okay? There's a lot of confusion that you shown there. Sinwana, sorry, right, Sinwana. What basically, right, what type of subject matter that you want to draw here? Who is your characters?
This
Who is this?
uh like this the character
Who is this?
and uh
Who
like
actually your characters?
a human,
Who actually your characters? Huh?
a human.
Who is
Uh,
it? Who is it?
mm, I don't know who it is, but just like a human, and I
Okay,
draw like this.
Shinhuan, I think you have misunderstood, okay, from what we actually have discussed before, and also uh, if you actually have entered and so watched most of my videos there, most of my videos there, right? If you really remember what I actually have told you before from our consultation and also from our lesson class, right? Before you want to draw anything, you have to understand what or who is your subject matter is. Understand what I mean? What
Yes.
that means? Um, you have to understand first who actually your character. That's why I say that. That's why I ask you, right, who actually your characters. If you don't know who actually your characters, that means you don't understand what basically you're trying to create here, right? When you actually show me, all right, your subject matter is you draw that characters. Yeah, this is the common problem that we have from all the creators there, right? Creators there, right? Students or any kind of professionals there, for example, there, right? If you don't understand what is your subject matters that you want to draw, this is what happens, lah. Right? All the ideas that you have were mixed around with from all your reference there. You don't have your own kind of identities towards. Remember what I said before, right? When you try to draw one of the characters based from other people's design there, okay, the girl with the hat and also the glasses there, right? I actually thought that you want to draw yourself, and I actually have told you before, if you want to draw a human and you as a reference, remember that, right? You as a reference, it's okay. What you can do, you study yourself to become characters there. Just like I did before, okay? When I actually want to show you guys, okay, I want to draw myself as the characters, I can create at least 3 different designs for a few minutes about myself there, right? Okay? So you just have to transform you as a subject matter as human. You are a human being, right? You are not alien, right? You also have a very good kind of looks that have a features that you can actually transfer into character design. So the best way for you to start, other than you have to improve a lot of your foundation sketches, because okay, from from your drawings, can actually I can actually understand that, right? That you have a lot of hard times to develop the proportion and the basic structures for your characters. The way that you draw, I know that you actually don't understand how it works, right? You don't know where to go from here. Because we are not talking about only a design itself. The tactics that you try to approach for your design right now, you're also wrong. Why? The proportion is not right. The way that you're handling the tools, the way that you control your line, the way that you actually develop the structures there, when you sketch your line, this is what actually happens there. I did share also with uh, your friends, okay, on this kind of design. I already feel some of you let me back again. I'm going to share with your name is Juan Xuan, right? Maybe you guys were from group 1, is it?
Yeah, we are from DNL Group 1.
Group 1, right?
Yeah.
Let me check. Okay, it's group 1. So I'm going to share one of this video I just made just now there. Okay? Before I have your class, you call me for the consultation there. That videos is not actually quite a very uh, detailed kind of one, but basically I just repeat back again my kind of demonstrations how you can start to develop your drawing strokes writing when it comes to develop your kind of design there. Okay, uh, Sinhuan there, right? Okay. If you take a look at my screen right now, oh, I didn't actually, uh, it's okay. So this is,
My face is so funny.
I think what we call it, you want to sleep there, right? Okay. I think
No.
like, okay, like we go through with your drawing. If you take a look at her drawings here, whatever that we can do right now, okay, you see how actually I draw the stroke, friend? All right, the arrangements of the eyes should be here. The arrangements there to make it more balanced with the shapes right here there. Okay? So normally when you draw the lips for the characters, for this kind of what we call particular kind of what we call that proportions has to be close lips lah, right? This is the rest position there, right? The hands basically we can actually draw a bit more like this, right? If you close, right, you can see the whole structure here. Right, push one right here, you can see right here how actually I draw the structure there. Very soft kind of line there works. Okay, very soft kind of line that works for that. Okay, very soft kind of line that works. It's just like a drawing some gesture drawing line there. This is what you should do basically. What basically I can conclude with your drawing anytime. The main problem when you start to sketch your ideas is this. You draw like this. Right. Is it true? Is it true, Hinshana? The way that you move your hands is right. Is it true that Hinshana, when you draw like this one there, right? Right. If you saw people draw like this, automatically you know that the person who actually tried to draw these characters, they don't understand why actually they draw them. Okay? So if you want to go back into what we have been going through before, where is it? I have it. This one. This is your drawing here. When I look at this drawing here, right, I know basically what is your challenges there, difficulty that you face. You saw this is my drawing from your samples there. But I didn't actually like you to draw this one. Why? This is only a reference there, guideline there, okay? Some ideas there. I didn't mean for you to, I don't want you guys to just copy from these ideas to develop your own. Okay? If you actually done this kind of methods, it's not right, especially for the newcomers as well. Because when you draw them back, I believe you draw this kind of subject matters based on the reference. All these three different drawings were based from reference. We cannot imagine well. Right? So we want to develop other than what we call that the methods and tactics, and also how actually you can actually imagine the right way to develop the strokes. So whatever that you want to do, if you say you want to draw a human, what kind of human that you want to draw? Ask this question back again. And who draw them right? There has to be someone that you can draw. All right. In essence, is what, who, how actually you're going to execute them. How actually you're going to draw them. All right. So all this kind of question that you need to have in your mind. Otherwise, if you cannot answer all these questions, that's why you give me this answer today. I don't know. Right. So when you don't know what basically you want to draw, this is what happens. Okay. Is it? Can you look at me at the moment there? I want to capture your face, even though your monitor screen is not that quite what we call that clear there, right? Hopefully we can get something. What we can do. I think I have drawn your face before. Is it? Okay, now take a look here. What we can do right now. Right? So I have also this one there. Right? Sample copy and paste. Obviously we won't draw this face there, okay, at the moment. Right. So what we can do here, if you have a reference of your face, why do you study them back your face? Right. If you say your face is not that like Korean kind of superstar or pop star, okay, we are not actually draw them for what, okay? First of all, if you want to choose to draw your idols here, okay, this is what I've learned, okay? you don't actually pay us while you have to draw them. Right. So make sure, right, okay, the best way for you to study is to draw yourself as a human character. So what I can do from here? I can study back again your character. What are the strong features of these characters that you can turn these features into characters there? First of all, the hair. You see the shapes of the hair. Right. I'm going to study back again. Okay, for example, let us say this is my photos, right? I'm going to study back again my features. You have to build up this confidence. Each one of you, right? I really want all the students to have this kind of understanding that how it works. You take a look at my hands, how I do it. Start to develop the structures of my face. Okay, this is my face, my nose, my lips, the right thing, and the whole structure. See the way I draw the right. The next thing is the eyes. You draw the eyes, the right. Lips of the eyes. You do not have to draw a portrait of you. Nose. You can draw the nose like this. Go here. It's an illustration, right? But the real nose are going to be maybe look like this. The lips. Maybe this is your lips, right? So the eyes, the eyebrow. And then, what are the things that make you as yourself that everyone actually will recognize? Glasses. Right? Yeah. This is basically your first study of your design. Understand that? From here, what I can do, I want to draw as the chibi characters or any cartoon characters. What I can do, I draw the basic strokes, structures there. This is the head. These are going to be the face. You're going to draw ears, go ahead, the right shapes of the ears. And then the alignment of the eyes. Right, cartoon, normally the head are going to be more bigger, they're going to be more thicker, right? That's why babies have a big head there, right? So what I can do here, I'm going to start to draw the head. Okay. The neck, a bit more thinner there, okay? Lips, simple lips first. Glasses, big glasses, because you want to turn yourself as a character, you're right. The simplest thing without having a lot of problem to draw eyes, using a very simple kind of shapes like this, and eyebrow. Nose, simple nose like that. Then you design the first characters. Okay, take a look how actually I designed the characters here, right? They based on yourself, but become cartoon version of it. The next thing, let's just say you love this kind of structures there. So you want to create from the same structures, you can actually duplicate if you want to, right? Duplicate the shapes there, right? If you want to, or you can select this one, copy, copy paste there, right? Okay? Then shapes, and then you can erase also this, what we call that, the shapes of the. This is a part of the development there. Then you can draw the big eye from here. So practice to draw the shapes of the eye. How to draw the shapes of the eyes using cartoon versions there. Practice methods that you draw for your design there. So this is what we call study. Study is not only reading books there. Yeah, and you want to draw yourself a smile. Okay. Two different designs based on the same characters. This is a very simple kind of studies that you can do for yourself. And that just say you love to study other people's design, yeah. Right? Like this one, for example, here, right? This character is here. So what you can do, right? Select all, copy, close this one like this. Paste right here. Let us say you love this kind of drawings. You have to study first this kind of styles there. What are the things that you can study from here at the moment? The shapes that makes these characters look cute there, right? How actually we're going to work on that? Okay, the shapes of it, right? Remember that, okay? Because you don't study other people's characters, you just copy them. Study means we develop, we learn to understand, we do our own research by drawing them back, but we draw using the constructive line. This is what we call study. Not reading books, we call study. There are books on top of it. I draw on top of it. So we study them back. The shapes, the circles. You must be able to do some X-ray visions. This one there, right? Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't need to have those superpowers to work on that. And these characters, basically, the foundation of these characters you can find a lot on the YouTube or Google or okay, people done a lot using the same basic structures there. You have to study them back. You have to do some research like this. Nowadays, there's a lot of reference there that can be used. Don't just look into the overall kind of finishing artwork there. You must have to develop your kind of observations by looking into the foundation, the basic structures there, the the way how people actually start to do their ideas developments. You understand what I mean? I believe that most of you guys, not only you, most of you guys, right, who actually don't understand what is going on here because you don't learn from what you see with your eyes. You don't actually digest and also develop those kind of process of understanding in your mind when you see how actually I draw and demonstrate that. You're just amazed from the overall kind of concept. Right? It's just like when you actually saw some K-pop star, you only look overall of her, his look or her look only there. It's very beautiful, she's only handsome. Yeah. Or sometimes you can go into more details, why she look handsome, for example. Why? You can explain why. Maybe because his nose, he actually make a nose job. For example, okay, the Korean guy always, people always do like that, right? But not all of them. Maybe the nose job that he do, that make he has a very pointed kind of nose job. The manchong there. The lips quite thin there, okay? Right? The skin a little bit more, the facial a little bit more like a teenager's there. Or sometimes most of the men right now, they look a bit more like women. Right? For example. So that's why for you maybe this kind of type of man look handsome to you, right? But you don't actually analyze them. You just see, oh, handsome, that's what handsome. Why? Why handsome? Right. But for me, handsome sometimes also can be handsome, right? Yeah. This is only a joke there, right? But take a look at the from the from the from the from the not only from the visual itself, okay, from the outside of your mind, go into detail, okay, try to analyze what is going on here, right? Just like I actually done this kind of demonstration for so many times for you guys. Why actually I have to draw this constructive line? because the movement of your hands, they will develop the right kind of technique there. The second thing is, without the foundation or constructive line, you won't be able to know, to understand how the form were made. How actually you can combine all the element of design from line, shapes, and form to develop one single designer. Okay? We not talk about coloring, texturing, cost, value, and tone, right? Okay, from those elements itself. So from here, the alignment between the eyes there. What kind of shape is this? Oval or circle there? So you have to study them back. Where basically they put the nose itself, the lips. All these kind of observations really important. All this kind of analyzation also really important. When you have all this kind of understanding there, easy for you to, okay, draw the hair, also the same thing. Draw the shape of the alignment of the hair before you're going to draw the hair. Can you see that? How actually I solve this problem here? Yeah. Alignment there. You have to know the right techniques that before you're going to do anything. Now on. Draw the shapes of the head also as the structures right there when you want to draw this. Okay? Yeah. Otherwise, whatever that you're going to do, you're going to go back into your own styles of drawing. See? I'm not actually focused on the, I don't have to copy the art or trace them. I can draw, but I didn't put a lot of attention to copy exactly, but I'm only using my kind of understanding for the whole thing there. Build up this understanding there. So go back from here, you're going to draw based on these kind of styles there. From your character design there, from your subject matter there, what you can do. I'm going to draw the basic circle shapes, but there's another circles over here, two circles. Right? Two circles, the oval and circles. Yeah. For example, like this. So what I can do, I draw this structure back again. This again might be the matrix there. The nose are going to be right here, the lips, okay, the eyes using circles there, right? And then this is the eyebrow, right? She has a very big eye here. Then you can draw the glasses there. A very simple kind of sketch. And then the hair. This is the line of the hair there. The ears has a big ears there too, to make a more thick kind of cartoons, kind of shapes. And then you have the characters. You want to do some refinations, action lines, your head. Yeah. Then the neck itself and the body too. Based on the same design layer, but you draw them back. Okay? If you have understand, you don't have to draw the basic structures all the time. Okay? One of the reasons I draw like this because I have to measure between the areas of the hands. Doesn't have to be too long or too short. Okay, your characters, based on your subject matters here. Right? Can you see how actually it works? Right. So you have to develop that kind of foundations of your skills. Some people, some students, this is normal to happen, not only you, right? The FYP students also the same thing. When they throw some ideas, their own ideas, when I actually give some sort of input, they're afraid they don't change. They change. They don't have their own stand there. Why? Because they don't have confidence there. When you say to me, because I don't have any ideas, come on there, right? Okay? There's a billions and billions, like Donald Trump said, right? Millions and billions some ideas that you can get from the internet nowadays. The only thing that you need to do, choose one subject matter that you can actually work with the billions kind of ideas. That means from your own self as a subject matters, you can create billions of versions of you. Like you can create a lot of things. That's why, if you remember or you notice correctly, some students when they ask their thing, is it okay when they actually have find their own character there? Just like teaching director, if you find some of the characters that you want to work close there from that seven that day, you choose one that you want to work close there. Or before you choose correctly, try to draw each character at least 20 different roles. Uh, right. For example, right? Hey, remember what I said there, right? For the submission for this week, even though you have done a lot of studies, suddenly you don't have time to clean up or finishing the presentation right now. You haven't get the right kind of suitable because the time that we want to finishing and complete our practice, right? The moment that we have to finish the practice, before you're going to create a story for your third assignment. Right. Remember that, right? So that means for presentation tomorrow, let's just say you have submit all these kind of works and you haven't decided, okay, you just can record a video set. You say, this is my kind of presentation on my videos there, right? Okay. So that means I have done all this kind of research. I have done a lot of study based on my practice there. So what basically I cannot submit is I don't finalize my practice yet. But you can show us basically a lot of studies that you have put your efforts on it. Okay. Because it's a process of developing right now. I take like some of the graphic design that I create, I take not more 1 week to decide to develop, right? To complete. Sometimes take 1 or 2 months, sometimes 3 months, sometimes 4 months there, right? To complete one character. Especially main characters there. Why? Because we want to find the right candidates there for our stories there, right? Because it's just like you want to choose a main cast there, okay? For your stories or for your films, for your drama there, okay? You want to choose the best cast there. It's just like also remember what I said. It's just like to find your own soulmate. Lah. If you have your soulmate right now, okay, I think but if you don't, if you still seek for the right person in your life, right, it will take time. Right. It will take time. Right? You will have certain kind of criteria that can you meet maybe your this kind of thing, right? But maybe right here, it has you will have to build the good relationship with the person first. Right? Same goes to practice. Same goes to design practice. Right? Why design is not only techniques, not only method of knowing what you want to do, but you have to make a very good relationship with your design. Why? Because you have to work with your design for a certain kind of period. Sometimes, okay, take a look at Hello Kitty. How many years now? Mickey Mouse, more than 100 years. Right. But people still can connect with that, with those designs. Why? Because the design that you create, like Doraemon, I think, you have Doraemon there, I think, for your, you have that, what you call that here? It's a frozen character there. They developed this kind of characters more than 5 years. For the Pixar or Disney kind of methods of working already, when they take the stories, they take the characters there, it takes 1 or 2 years there to develop these characters there. Even though from professional point of view. Right, and then they want to put those characters that make believe that the characters that you've watched is just like it's an animated characters, but you feel like the characters live with you there. Right, it's in real life there. Okay? Ah, like me, sometimes if I was a teenager, right, if I love to watch this frozen, right, if I were teenagers, right, it's a teenager's dream for some time, right? If I have GK, right, I will thought that someday I will find a girlfriend look like a Elsa or like, those are teenagers kind of things that sometimes I think. Because the power of the connection between the design, right, the personalities there of your characters, of the characters will make people make believe, like Doraemon, right? Even though it's a cartoon version. But sometimes you feel that if you have Doraemon with you, right, there's a lot of things can be solved there, right? I think you feel that kind of feelings. Basically, those are on your comic, right? Only a 2D characters there, right? It's a visual character, but you can feel that. Same goes to design characters from what you have processed. It's not that easy. I know it's not easy, but go piece by piece. Don't worry there. Your time is very long there. Not only for this semester. You will experience to design characters not only this semester. I can bet you will design the characters until your fourth or fifth semester, especially in animation subjects. They will need for you to design also a character. Hopefully, at that stage, you have bring a lot of understanding. You have prepared yourself to develop a bit more kind of a very good quality of characters there. Or maybe if you design the same characters, I'm going to be sure that you're not going to design as the same as what you did right now. They will be more flexible, more dynamic, and you know how to do whatever that you want to do to make those characters look more alive, right? More believable, right? Don't worry that this is process only the right thing, but the techniques, the methods of working on it, the way that you're controlling your line, prices, and stroke, and foundation yet that you build up, you understand the ideas to design the structures has to be improved and developed from now on. Okay, that's how you can do it. It will take time, but you have to enjoy that, and you have to believe that. Okay, if you change with a lot of ideas, if they stick to one sometimes, one of the bad thing is because you don't actually develop your own kind of self learning and also skills. Right? Because you keep changing ideas, the same problems you still face right now, okay, because you don't actually improve anything from that. Even though it's good for you to explore different kind of characters, but the problem is when you design different characters, like for example, you have a lot of different kind of problems that you will face. For example, different design, different styles there, different kind of approach there on their features there, different things there. But if you stick with one character first, but you try to develop up any kind of possibility that you can change from there, right? From, for example, like G1 kind of characters, right? Okay. From these shapes into this simple kind of line and shapes there, sometimes you can actually design, right? Simple kind of shapes like this. Maybe you have a dream to design a very thin kind of line like this, right? But have a big ears, big glasses, small eyes, simple like this, right? You can draw more simplest kind of visions of you. It can be simple there. But from here into here, no nose, for example, there, I think, and the body is quite thin, right? It can, but the thing is, you already understand how it works there. Okay, I draw the basic structures of the hands, right? Women has a very huge, a little bit kind of what we call that pelvis over here, other than men, right? You got the basic structures there. So you imagine yourself have a very long kind of leg, for example, here, you can do all these things can be developed, right? With your own kind of understanding that, your own kind of way of working it. But you just have to research a bit more. How actually get all these ideas? Yes, I get all these ideas from my experience when I Google up for someone character. My ideas also is not original, but I can transform them back again from my experience there. I get also those ideas from other people's work. I'm not saying that everything is original for me, no. But I didn't actually try to copy the writing. But of course, you have to have some sort of reference, like you go into what we call that Pinterest, for example, like this, right? You find some of the design kind of samples there, so you will browse a bit more like animation, for example, graphic, and you watch some of the characters here that actually quite fit with your needs. Actually, for some time, okay, you take a look at how actually they design these characters there. It came from a simple shape there. Before they refine them and add some details. So this is something also very valuable for you to start. I already share some of the samples from the to our what we call that Google Classroom. Okay, you check it here. When you design the women characters, right? You can actually trace or draw from here, but don't just copy from that and turn into your practice. Because in terms of study, a very good kind of example there, right here. See how they draw the pose for the characters there. A very simple kind of sketch line there. It doesn't have to take too serious that works. What basically I've done also from my works, all right? I think I already shared with you guys before, but I just want to give you guys some examples. Where is it? When I actually design my own illustrations or my own comics, actually, but these comics basically you actually have seen before. When I actually develop these comics, I need, because even though I can draw what we call that, traditionally I can draw right without looking at the reference, but because I want to have a very more closer kind of impact on my ideas there, my design right. This is the rough one there. So I started to study there. I think this is not the one I think. When I actually designed this comics there, right? These comics there, right? I use myself as a model to do some graphics there. All the what we call that, all the posts that I draw from these comics were based on my own reference there. I shoot myself at it. I stay around 1 or 2 weeks in my studios there, on and off. So I spend my time imagine what are the posts that I want to do, and then I start to redraw. I shoot the photos using self-timing, right? Because we have digital cameras, right? So I post every of these single posts. This one I'm using imagination, right, to draw. This one I'm using imagination that way. You see different kind of styles that works. Okay, this one also I'm using imagination that to draw. Right. But if you want to draw a full figures, okay, normally I'm going to this one I'm using my imagination that to draw the right thing. So these comics basically, if you check it, most of the posts were basically from, even though these old woman and old man were came from my own kind of poses. I shoot myself at it. You see, obviously these characters will like me there. Some of the pose, some of the characters. Okay, this one, right? The same, right? Except elephant and also the dog, right? But all these poses of the human pose were came from my own myself, like myself as a model. Same goes to all of it. I can get you all of it. Even though the person here, I think, this one also needs it, I think. So that's how actually I create basically my kind of way of working with that. What else? Okay, this one. Same, okay? If you go to except this word, I think, everything from the internet, I will draw that in. All these positions, right, think for myself. In my kind of process. That's why reference is very important. It's really important for you to work. Same goes to this. Obviously, you can see this monster itself. Okay? From here to here, even though these three monsters right away, and this one, I'm using myself to develop the kind of poster. Then I'm using my own imaginations to work. That's why imagination combined with reference there, they will give a lot of impact on your work. Trust me on that. Then goes to this one, the high angle, low angle kind of works here. So this is when you talk about comics here, I think it will go same also with figures illustrations books or picture books illustrations. What else can I share with you guys? Robot thinking. Okay. This comic that I create, obviously you can see myself right? From this comic. This is me, right? Silhouette also me, this is my eyes, that basically, everything is me there. Okay? I developed my own reference because at that time, even though some of the moment there, okay, I didn't have, at the time I didn't have those internet there, okay? So that means no Wi-Fi there, okay? So I have to rely only from my skills and also from imagination and also reference there. So I create my own reference to develop some posters. Like you, Xinhuan, right? The best way for me, my suggestions, use yourself as a character. Then you seek for a lot of references, that you guys can take a look to develop your kind of confidence when you want to develop your own character. See how actually they draw this granny there, okay? Granny there, okay? Three different grannies, but the same kind of character. So how people actually try to develop this idea there, okay? So if you say you don't have any ideas to develop, I don't believe that. Because nowadays, there's a lot of resources, you can find your own ideas that works. But the only thing that you have to understand, whether you know how to use this reference in the right way, develop your style of design, especially on your sketch line. See a lot of people, okay, when they start to sketch, they start with a rough sketch there. This is what we call rough sketch there. No need to have the clean line there, okay? No clean up line there, okay? So it's very rough sketch, very confident kind of line there. See different kind of styles there. Draw, practice, right? So build up this kind of understanding, right, from time to time. Be patient with it and open up your mind. Enjoy the process of learning that. See the way, if you understand how it works with this practice, then right. This practice here, you can take it into three-quarter view, right? See? So this is yourself, right? From three-quarter view there. So I'm using a very, what we call that, gesture line that you draw this. Develop gesture line also is really important there. Gesture line, this is a gesture line. Some people draw the gesture line like this. This is not gesture line. Right. Very smooth kind of line there. Slowly move. Right. But when we draw the structures, basically they're right. The gesture line, it will show the constructive kind of the directions to where we want to go from there. Right. If you check out here, there, okay, you can see the whole ideas where I can move into the finishing of this characters later on that way. But it takes time, I think. I'm not saying everything's are going to be fine, but the problem is that you have in mind the way that you change to set your mind there. Whether you want to change or not, up to you. Right. So that means if you not actually open up your mind to find, to search, to explore different kind of possibilities that you can improve your way of working, no one can be changed there. The only thing that make me feel that I can develop myself, I always open up my mind. Like you, like me, basically, right? What I've learned, I think, from the previously, right, recently, right? I always look from other people's work there, right? I have a privilege to saw other people how they draw the works. But you guys also the same. You have the privilege to see how actually I do my works. So that means there is no point you cannot actually learn from there. You cannot get a benefit from here. Why? Because you watch directly from life. Even though you don't see me face to face there, okay? But I share my screen, I share my knowledge live with you guys all the times. And I even talk to you guys there. Right. So that we learn from observations that we do. Use our eyes, mind to think, to digest the uh, whole kind of process there, right? All this kind of developments there, and connect it with your hands. Everyone can do. This is a skill based only. It's just like playing sports there, right? But the only thing that makes you become a Chong Wei or Lindan, right? Or some kampung kind of guy there, right? Okay? Because of the right way to practice there. Or how long you spend your time to practice there, right? Okay? And enjoy yourself. That's all. Listen to good music there. I know you stay at home there, okay? Have some magic cup or whatever that you want, just to be in your room, to be in your kind of moments there. No one will interfere you there. Right. So those are the things I always do until now there, right? But I spend my time a lot outside also, just what we call that is my mind there. But like you guys, okay, you can have your own times. Don't waste your time just doing assignments there. Make it assignment as a part of your progress development. Then you will enjoy yourself. You just stress yourself, assignment there, have to complete. You don't plan, you don't enjoy, learn to connect it, okay, because one of the best way, whatever that you do, try to connect with yourself. What do you like? If you really like mangosteen, make sure you know in and out about mangosteen there. So people cannot actually cheat you or talk what we call that, not going to be cheat you, right? Okay? People talk about mangosteen characters, you can actually explain a lot of things there using your design. So people will know that you specialize in mangosteen, for example, there, right? Right. Like you, in one, right? Okay? I start to develop my interest, right? Okay? When I want to trick characters, right? I always draw myself. Because why? Because when I was like a teenager, right, I had this kind of belief that I want to put myself into a movie's character. For example, right, I have this kind of imagination, right? Become a hero, become a whatever, right? It's a boy kind of dream. So I become a hero, heroic, right? With warriors or whatever you right? So I draw myself as a part of those main characters there. So I develop those kind of interests, develop myself. So I draw myself. Not to say I really draw myself a lot. I draw also some women, some men, some friends, right? But I always study myself because when I actually, what we call that, have the formal educations, okay, my lecturers, my teachers is artists also, right? They also give the same opinion, the same suggestion. Okay? They say if you want to understand and improve your drawing skills, especially portrait or whatever it is, right? Okay, you have to draw yourself first. If you can draw yourself first in the right way, you know the whole features that you're going to create are going to be better because you have more focus on yourself. You don't want to draw yourself become ugly, for example, right? But for me, when I actually develop my kind of knowledge and understanding there, right, the conceptual the design itself, we can actually play around with our face there. We can make our face become anything that we want, cartoon, aliens, whatever, to make it more interesting there. But it's not all about everything. It's like I see good face always good face there. I think sometimes unique face also can be a part of the there is a artistic values on that you don't realize right now, but in the future hopefully you have. Because we want to see some unique features. What are unique features that you can see from your face? For me, hair, glasses, simple step. Then emphasize from there. Right. Don't be too down to earth to say you're not actually good at like Blackpink kind of idol, whatever I think. This kind of people actually lucky to be your maybe not just lucky, they work hard to be a superstar that you can create also an idol kind of icon from there. You can actually create those characters from that kind of from what we call that subject matters there. But before you create those subject matters there, try to create yourself become your own Blackpink for example. You could yourself become a superhero there, or superhuman there, okay? Or a princess there, okay? It's okay. When people say, oh, you actually like feel a little bit like a geek, like a short scenery, whatever it's like, it's a normal thing. Artists, designers have to be, they have to be appreciate also yourself before you want to design for other people. So that's how you can create your own styles there. That's how actually the process, the journey, you can create your own style. Because you don't become someone else there. You will become yourself. But you take some sort of influence from other things that make yourself a bit more what we call that confidence there. Because whatever that you design with the same level with other people's there, same levels there. I used I used to have this kind of what we call that comment from other people, my colleagues, even though my ex-student previously 10 years ago, they were actually, 15 years ago, when they actually work for me, they actually develop actually my personal work, they always say, what actually you try to do right now? Like, why you actually try to design all these things? But they don't actually understand the process of developing this kind of styles and ideas, the beneficial of your kind of efforts later on. There will be, if you're doing it in the right way, there will be someone actually will recognize. But you have to expose yourself like, in the right way in the social media. That's why whatever that you do right now, expose yourself. Right? You're not exposing your naked body, right? Or faces there, right? You expose your work to the audience. People will recognize you when you do that. Don't be shy to show your progress, right? Even though you start with the very simple drawing or very awkward kind of drawing, right? But people will love to see your improvement there. People will follow you because of your improvement. Nowadays, I think ladies will be more potential. Right? That's why a lot of people, of course, want to follow ladies, right? Right, in Instagram, in social media, right? Okay, those are the good advantage, but we use that kind of advantage in the right way that it works. Right, those are the things. Because for me, my kind of situation is different, right? Because I love to play around. Basically, I love to play around. I love to tease people, playing around, make some jokes, stupid jokes, okay? Make a stupid things out of it, okay? I love to joking around that with my words, with my stuff, with the marketing stuff, everything. All the things basically for me, social media is a joke for me, right? So sometimes people take serious, but sometimes people don't take serious. I'm okay with it, right? So sometimes we actually post some serious things just to knowledge people, try to motivate people there. Those are the things I love to do there. Okay? But for me, everything is all about, like, I don't have to take everything too serious there. Why? Right. You don't have to. Right. So we have to put some positive kind of energy all the time. Right. So any question there? Any questions
No,
from both of you?
understand.
All right. Hopefully you guys have that kind of more clear understanding on that. So don't worry there. You have to choose your, for me, choosing writing. If you can actually explore a bit more, make it your character more dynamic there, more flexible there. That means you think outside from what you have inside your structure there. Okay? I bet there's a lot of references you can use. Try to work on that. You know, to try to work on
Okay.
that. Like G1, uh, try to focus more on your only one subject matter there. That subject matter, make sure that you really love to work with. It's like choose your own food there. Okay? Right? If you have your opportunity to choose your own food, right? You have the right money, for example, there. Okay? You want to buy some bun only, you know, right? If you, right, you want to eat something that you love. Same goes to practice. Do something that you love to see. But I think the best suggestion is to be yourself. Because you start with that kind of character that look like you, explore from there. I show you guys basically how it works, right? If you want to share, you want to print the screen, you can print the screen right now, okay? Then you can have more examples that works. Right. You can you can print the screen, you can share the screen, you can actually capture the screen that you want to. Right. So they will have a lot of clear ideas here, the direction where you want to go from there. Right? Okay, guys. So if there are any questions, hopefully I can get to see more progress from there. Whatever that you want to record, right? Okay, from for our presentations, okay, for your presentations, okay, record and also present whatever that you have working, okay, but in the proper way. Because why? Because if I can draw and present most of my demonstrations in more proper way in a few minutes, I bet you guys can do also the same thing. Proper kind of presentation, that means you have a reference, you have your own research, you have your own studies there, you have your own developments. Those are the things that I want to see from there. All right, the kids there, I guess.
So for the presentation,
Right.
right, we just show our words. We don't need to demonstrate how we draw, is it?
No need to demonstrate how you draw. Right.
Okay.
But if you think you want to show from the videos, okay, how actually you draw the basic practice, I think I'm okay with it. And sometimes when we saw people draw, we actually can recognize, like, how actually they do work there. Data, right? Boy there, the boy there. Okay, okay. Mm.
Hello.
Hi, hi kakak, hi kakak, eh?
His eyes
Right.
is so
Okay,
big.
yeah.
His
The
eyes
head
big.
also, the head also quite big there. Huh? You can use as a reference there. Huh? If you want, you can use the reference, okay? His head also quite big there, right? All right. Okay. So that means on presentations, right? Uh, you just actually show the progress, your developments, and also one of the best way, and also include also your exercise there, okay? Because I want to see how actually you have developed from there. So
Okay.
from the first week of your own drawings, and then you develop your exercise there, because we can see whether the students know and understand what basically have been you guys have been experienced there, because all the understanding was there from your drawings, from your line. You can see whether you actually understand or not what you're going to do. So like you, Chixin, I think you have built up this kind of understanding from that one. My suggestion is keep on drawing, keep on enjoying working on your way of working, and of course, like anyone else, when you have the design subject that that need you guys to sketch your ideas, don't go back into your old styles of drawing. If you have built up your kind of the movements there of your sketches, including the pattern line, right thing, continue to do this kind of routine, right, for other subjects there. Because why? Because you will actually, if you can actually maintain and develop the new way of working from now on, they will be more beneficial for you in the future. Then when you want to develop any kind of form of design or ideas, okay, before you're going to make your finishing on the details well, okay? Because developing ideas, a lot of students, a lot of people thought is quite simple kind of stuff, right? They don't actually take serious on it. That's why the design outcome normally become a bit more like lawyer, like a bit more mess around. It's like a simple thing, okay? Like you spend 1.5 years to learn diploma to develop this design sense. It's just like you take a 1 week or 2 weeks kind of short courses about design that a lot of normal people also can do. It's not like that. But to build up this kind of understanding, now basically, hopefully you guys understand that, right? All the characters that you saw before, that you love to see before, like Doraemon, for example, there, right? It's not that easy as what you actually have seen there, right? Okay? It takes a lot of highly skills there to design that kind of character, that simple ball shapes kind of character there. So he actually he here, right? He wants to sleep. He wants to play. That's why he whining a little bit there, right? Okay. So Shinhuan, how's it? What is your kind of comment on our session here? Anything there?
No.
Hmm? Hmm? What is it? What is your comment there? What basically do you have any questions?
No.
No? Can you capture the screen? No. No. All right. Okay. So, okay. I think record these presentations. These videos here. Right. I think after this I'm going to upload like on the group so right here, and then I'm going to share with your friends. Okay? So hopefully everyone also can get the benefit from this presentation. All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
So
much, sir.
okay. We have
Thank
time here.
you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All the best.
Okay,
Have a good day
bye.
there. Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.